Hi, this is Omid from Navigatr. Here's a quick video on how to create pathways on Navigatr, and especially how to use Open University badges in your pathway. To begin with, I'll log in with my provider account. Okay, here I'm in the admin dashboard. We're focusing on pathways today. I have a few pathways already, and let's create a new one. I'm creating a pathway in becoming a data analyst, so let's call it entry level data analyst. This pathway is going to potentially lead to a job, and let's say this is available for a few months. It's going to be available online. And description, I have a few sentences written here which I'll copy over. So this pathway is designed to introduce participants to fundamental concepts and tools necessary for data analysis, aimed at beginners, with steps that cover everything from basic statistical principles to advanced data manipulation and visualization. And a few more sentences with that general theme. Let's add some skill tags and actually use the smart tag to suggest some skills based on the description I put in. So data analysis, bang on, data manipulation, data collection, visualization, report writing, statistics, SQL programming language, that makes sense. Let's suggest a few more. Data mining, Python programming language probably makes sense. Statistical analysis, and a few more. Data mining, data science. Okay, that's a good list of specialized skills, and let's add one on the common skills. So detail oriented, yeah, there's detail oriented, that's great. So I have green ticks all across. This pathway is going to be available to all. I won't be adding any cover photos for now. Industry, this is in information technology and computer science, fine. I won't be adding any job feed for now, but we'll come back to that later. So the main part of a pathway is adding steps. You can add up to 12 steps to a pathway. 5 is the recommended number, and you can add 3 different options of badges for each of the steps. Okay, so the first step in applying for a job as a data analyst is to be able to write your CV, showcase the skills you have, and apply for a job. And on Navigatr there are a few badges available which cover that general theme. So there's this badge, CV Ready badge from Skills House CTE. It covers those skills which are relevant for this badge. So I will use this badge as an option for this first step. And let's have a look. I think there's this other badge from DigiShed which cover this similar set of skills. So I will add that as an alternative option for completing this step. Thirdly, I'd like to add an OpenLearn badge. So in addition to the badges which are available to my provider, now there is an open badge library that I can access as well. And in here, the first set of badges in the badge library are the OpenLearn badges. The badge library are a set of badges which are available to all providers to create pathways with. You won't be able to issue these badges. The badges will be issued by Open University, but you can use these badges in your pathway. You also won't be able to see the recipients of these badges, but as I said, you can use these pathways, badges in your pathways that you're creating. And the good thing about this is, so Open University has a badge that covers the general theme of getting ready for a career and writing your CV and applying for your first job. So personal branding for career success from Open University. Okay, and I will use this as another option for this step. Okay, so now that step of preparing your CV or preparing yourself for your career is done, let's move on to more technical skills which are required by a data analyst. So to start with, I need some skills in working with algorithms. So algorithmic thinking. This badge from Navigatr provider, it covers skills in algorithms and Python and problem solving skills using coding. I'll use that as an option for this step. Alternatively, I think XP has a badge that covers these skills as well. So, and kindly, that badge is available in my provider, so I can use that badge as well. Okay, so 2 options for completing this step 2. Let's add a third step. In this step, we'll get into working with databases and learning the fundamental skills required for data analysis and working with databases. So there's this badge from Navigatr provider. It covers a wide range of skills in the working with databases and which are required as for a data analyst. So I will add that step to that badge to this step, and with this step I will leave it as a single badge, and let's add another step. So this step I will add this is getting more into data analysis, and now the user has to dedicate a few hours to completing this step. OpenLearn has a badge that covers this. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Learn to code for data analysis. I completed this badge. It takes a few hours and to go through the e-learning material and complete the quizzes, but very worthwhile. So I will add that as another step in this pathway. So now we have 4 steps in this pathway. Let's add another one, just getting more into the nitty-gritty of skills required by as a data analyst. So mathematics and applying mathematics to coding and to data is a key part, and I think there is a badge, mathematics for science and technology. This badge from OpenLearn is brilliant, so I'll use that badge in my pathway. You can always, if you are not familiar with Open University badges, a good place to start is to just view the badges on the OpenLearn provider. I will share the link, and then familiarize yourself with those badges, and based on that deciding which of them are the most suitable for the pathway that you're creating. So now this is this pathway. I'm happy with that. I will save it. Okay, let's have a quick look. Changes are saved. My steps are appearing okay. Okay, good. And the set of skills in here. That's great. So let's publish this pathway now. Okay, now it's published. Let's preview. to see how it appears to the learner, to the individual. Description added, the skills to go with it, participation online, and the badges. With each of these badges, for example, if you go into it, it comes with the criteria and instructions on how to complete that way. In this case, this badge leads to an OpenLearn course with general information about how to get started and creating your account and enrolling for this course. 24 hours study. Okay, so let's just link back to our pathway. At this point, I will just log out of my provider account to log in as an individual. Great, so now I'm viewing this pathway as an individual. Quick view, this pathway. A quick view through the steps, details, and then I can see that with this pathway I already have some of these badges on my individual account. So that's a positive thing. I will probably be 2/5 of the way through already. So I like this pathway. Let's get started. Okay. Yeah. As mentioned, because I already had some of those badges in my portfolio, 2 of the steps are completed. I have 3 more steps to go. And scroll down here. Yeah, so this step and this step are completed because I have those badges. Now, if I would like to go ahead, I can take part and complete these additional steps. Okay. And that's the journey of individual interacting with a pathway, and the pathways always appear on the badges. When a user is looking at the badge, they can always find out if that badge is part of a pathway and how to interact with them more. And in my profile as an individual, I can see that I already received a recommendation from the system saying that because on this account I've said that I'm interested in coding, science, technology, and I also have some of those badges. When that pathway was created and published, I received a recommendation to start that, and here I'm making progress through that. And in my profile, here's the pathways I'm working on, 2/5 of the way through this pathway, and that's how I can always pick up where I left last. So that's the individual's user experience. I will log out of this individual account and log back in as my admin account to just quickly show what the admins see when people interact with their pathway. That is my bad. Should do it. Okay, yeah, this is my pathway. It takes me back where I left. So because I own this pathway, let's jump onto the manage view. The manage view, you can see that people are already have participated this pathway, and they're making their way through this pathway. And we can have a quick look at their assertion to see which of the steps they've completed and which ones are still outstanding for them. Okay, So I had mentioned that we'll come back to this pathway and look into the job feed as well. So I enable job feed on this pathway now, and industry I had already selected. If I want to display relevant jobs underneath this pathway, just to give a general guide to the learner on what kind of jobs they will be able to apply for on completing this pathway, choosing an industry takes me partway through there, but I can define some occupations to just be more to make sure that more specific jobs appear under this pathway. So jobs related to data analyst, jobs related to data scientist, data specialist, data scientist, data science. I think I'm happy with that. I'm not going to narrow it down to any companies or any range of salaries, and just save it. And let's preview how it looks to the public. Okay. Yeah, so there are some jobs from across the UK, one in Leeds where I am. Narrow it down to the place. And that is, or I can narrow it down to full-time or part-time jobs, or whether the workplace is in the work is done in a workplace, remote or hybrid options. Yeah, and further filters, or I can change my career aspiration in here to make sure that the job feed is always personalized to my preferences. But that gets more into detail of the job feed. That's it, and thank you for listening